Now, reports suggest that Russian President Vladimir Putin may participate in the G20 Virtual Summit on Wednesday. Now, remember, Putin did not attend the last two G20 meetings, the recent one being in New Delhi. This virtual summit will be chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, will attend this summit along with the Western leaders. Remember, tensions continue between Russia and the West given the raging war in Ukraine. I'm joined by my colleague Abhishek Jha, who's getting us this piece of breaking news. Abhishek, what more details can you get for us?
Well, a very interesting face-off that we could see in the wake of, this G20 summit level talks that have been going on for the last 1 year. This would be probably the last major summit level talks where all the leaders will be present, and Russian President Vladimir Putin himself has confirmed that he will be present virtually during that talk. That will be on 22nd of this month. And it will be one of the rarest occasions in the recent past when Vladimir Putin will be actually facing all of his adversary in the wake of Russia-Ukraine conflict that we have seen the last 1 year, 1.5 years. So how the discussions will go on, what kind of issues will be focused, how the Israel-Hamas war will be mentioned and highlighted in the entire discussion, that remains to be seen. But Russian President's presence, even though virtually, after two successive G20, after skipping two successive G20 meetings, that is going to be one of the most interesting things about this upcoming virtual leadership summit talks.
Right, and Abhishek, at the same time, while the entire world's focus is on the war between Israel and Hamas, this is likely to bring focus back to what the situation in Ukraine, given the fight between the Ukrainian forces and the Putin regime. And also, it will be highlighted by the terse and a very pointed statements which will come from the Western leaders, which will call on Russia to announce an immediate ceasefire and also respect the sovereignty of the nation of Ukraine.
Interestingly, when the thing of the Russia-Ukraine conflict started and Russia got increasingly isolated among Western powers, it was said that Russia has been doing atrocities, Russia has been violating humanitarian, issues, and the crisis that became a lot of humanitarian and refugees that was of Russia's making. The same situation after 1.5 years has evolved in Israel-Hamas conflict, where after the terrorist attack of 7th of October, what is happening in Gaza, that is also attracting a lot of international attention, where these Western powers are actually trying to defend themselves domestically. Very, there's uneasiness among the leaders as to how to defend Israel's actions and the humanitarian crisis that has killed more than 11,000 people in Gaza in the aftermath of terrorist attack that the Israelis had faced. So the situations have changed, and now, in a way, the Western powers are being increasingly cornered, and they are being held accountable for what is happening in Israel and Gaza. And in that context, Russian president's presence there will be interesting as to what kind of issues he will highlight and how is he going to put that Israel and Hamas conflict into perspective.
Right. Thank you, Abhishek, for getting us that piece of breaking news. So Vladimir Putin will be attending the virtual G20 summit on Wednesday, which will be hosted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, bringing focus back to the war in Ukraine as the Putin war machine faces off with the Ukrainian forces. Remember, the world's attention has been on the Middle East with the war raging between Israel and Hamas, but the Western nations are likely to give very pointed statements, very critical statements and very explosive statements when it comes to the situation in Ukraine, calling on the Putin regime to cease all military operations and respect the sovereignty of the nation of Ukraine. We'll continue to track all the developments which are coming in when it comes to this international story.